أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين السلام على المهدي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته وحياكم الله. Previously we spoke about the sign of Al-Khurasani, and we said one of the leaders that will emerge before the emergence of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. However, he is not a definite sign. Today I want to speak about the third definite sign that came in the narrations of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and also it will occur in the month of Rajab. Now, before I start speaking about the sign, please keep in mind that in this series, I'm just mentioning the signs. Now, I don't want to discuss the signs. I don't want to say whether they are true or not, or the events surrounding these signs, because some people keep asking questions regarding the sign itself. That, inshallah, we will discuss later. But now I just want to bring it forth and say this is what's going to happen and leave it there. Now, the third sign that the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam talk about that will happen during the month of Rajab, and it precedes the Imam alayhi salam in 6 months, a hand will come in the heavens, a hand in the sky. Now, is the Imam alayhi salam talking about a literal hand that we will witness in the heavens, in the sky, or is it metaphorical? We don't know, because all the ahadiths that we have that talks about a hand being in the sky, about 4 or 5 max. So there is not much talking about this sign in the ahadith of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Therefore, we can't really make our own conclusions regarding this sign. However, we know that a hand of some sort will appear in the heavens where everyone will be able to see it. Now, also keep in mind, we have plenty of hadith as well that says a body will be seen in the heavens. A face will be seen on the moon. A face will be seen in the heavens. A Badriyan, a person from the Battle of Badr, will be shown in the heavens. A whole arm will be seen in the heavens. So these terms, they came in different narrations, and most of these narrations, they collide with one another, beside the fact that a lot of these ahadith are actually not from reliable sources, nor are they from an infallible ma'soom. So you have to be very careful when you hear these ahadith or read this ahadith. Now, let's go back to the third definite sign, which is a hand coming up in the heavens. Now, for the sign being a definite, we have 2 hadiths from Imam Sadiq alayhi as-salam. The first one, a man comes to him and he says to him, is the Sufyani from that which is definite? قُلْنَا لَهُ السُّفْيَانِي مِنَ الْمَحْتُومِ قَالَ بَلَى. He said, yes. Then the Imam alayhi salam, from his own, he added a few more definite signs, and he said, وَقَتْلُ النَّفْسُ الزَّكِيَّةِ مِنَ الْمَحْتُومِ. The killing of the pure soul is also from that which is definite. وَالْقَائِمُ مِنَ الْمَحْتُومِ. And Imam al-Mahdi salamullah alayhi, the riser, is also a definite sign. وَخَسْفُ الْبَيْدَاءِ مِنَ الْمَحْتُومِ. And the sinking in the desert is also a definite sign. وَكَفٌ تَطْلَعُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. And a hand emerges from the heavens, مِنَ الْمَحْتُومِ. Also a definite sign. Another hadith from Imam Sadiq salamullah alayhi, also in this regard, he mentions the same definite signs as Sufyani, Yamani, the Nasu Zakiyya being killed, and then he says, وَكَفٌ يَطْلَعُ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. And a hand will emerge from the heavens, and he says, مِنَ الْمَحْتُومِ. It's a definite sign. It must happen. So up to here, we understood that a hand will emerge, a hand will be shown in the heavens for people to see. Now, like I said, what kind of hand it is? Is it literal? Is it metaphorical? Is it a code from the Ma'soom? We literally don't know, because the Imams did not explain this sign at all. Now, how do we know this sign will happen in the month of Rajab? We have a hadith from Imam Sadiq salamullah alayhi. Also, he says, Al-Amu alladhi fihi as-sayha, the year in which the call in the heavens will happen, qablahu, and before it, wal-ayatu fi Rajab. There is a sign in the month of Rajab. So the narrator says to him, قُلْتُ وَمَا هِي? What is this sign? The Imam says, وَجْهٌ يَطْلَعُ فِي الْقَمَرِ, a face will appear in the moon or on the moon, وَيَدٌ بَارِزَةٌ, and a very clear hand that will also come in the sky, where people would see this hand. Like again, I said, what kind of hand it is, we literally don't know. Now, on that note, we have plenty of a hadith that sometimes you read in the books and in our sources, which mentions the hand, and they usually put before it, قال الصادق, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said. But actually, it is not from Imam Sadiq. So if you trace it back to the source, you'll find out that it has nothing to do with Imam Sadiq salamullahi alayhi. For example, there's a hadith from Asma bint Umays. She said, she herself said, كَفًّا مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مُدَلَّاتٍ, there will be a hand hanging from the heavens. That hadith is very widely narrated as from Imam Sadiq salamullah alayhi. Even in our books, which I've read, they say قال الصادق, which has nothing to do with Imam Sadiq salamullah alayhi. Or there's another hadith from An Ibn al-Musayyib. Also they say he said this, Imam Sadiq said this, but it's actually Ibn al-Musayyib who said that. He himself came up with something of his own, and he said, a hand will appear in the heavens. But they said, قال الإمام الصادق عليه السلام, or other Imams. So we have to be very careful when we narrate the ahadith or we read the ahadith. We have to always trace it back to sources to see if it really came from the Ma'soom alayhi as-salam. Now, I will end with this as well. For those who do search in the signs of appearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, and especially when it comes to the hand, NASA in 2009, they took a picture of what they call a cloud, a star cloud, which looks like a hand. I will put the picture for you so you can see what I'm talking about. It looks like a hand. A lot of people said that's what the Imams were talking about, because NASA called it the hand of God. Now, how they call it the hand of God, I don't know. Now, it has a scientific technical name, but beside that, they called it the hand of God. So a lot of people say, well, that's what the riwayah narration of the Ahl Bayt is talking about. Well, that's a problem. The narrations of the Ahl Bayt salamullah alayhim, they talk about a sign that will happen 6 months before the emergence of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, or the rising of Imam Mahdi alayhi salam. Now, this picture was taken 2009. Now, we are 1 day away from 2026, and we are nowhere near the appearance of the Imam alayhi salam. So how can we assume that this picture, the hand of God, is in reference to the hadith of the Ahl Bayt alayhum salam? So we have to be very careful not to pass judgments and make our own conclusions when it comes to the signs of the appearance of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi as-salam. Inshallah, we will continue the discussion of the signs of the appearance of Imam Mahdi alayhi as-salam in episodes to come. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.